announced that he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and he's dealing with that. And that just got me to thinking about what are some of the really good memories that you have that you would never want to lose. And do you have any?
There are two. I'm still going through the Rolodex of memories. There's too many of them. It's just one.
Somebody texted me Cubs World Series win, same Super Bowl win, marrying my wife. I hope not in that order. Someone said Cubs, kids, grandkids, same Super Bowl. Somebody else says, as silly as it seems, a perfectly struck 6-iron, a high draw around the tree within 3 feet of the pin. What makes it special is I did it in front of my soon-to-be wife. She asked if I did that all the time. And I laughed. Great memory. Somebody else said, got to think back to Easter 2006. All of us back after Katrina. A lot of tears and memories shared. A lot of folks that aren't with us anymore, sadly, but good times and good memories. Somebody else said, as a black man, I hope I never forget the night it became official that Barack Obama was elected president. And then there's this, one of my best memories is of my first kiss playing spin the bottle with a buddy in 8th grade. There's a smile on Ian's face there. You might have a similar memory, maybe. I don't know. But text us. Be a little bit specific with your best memories here at 504-260-1870 as we talk about things that you hate to forget, that you always want to be able to remember. We're going to take a break. We'll go back and talk about Sunseri, about Ole Miss and some players that they're suing because, or they're thinking about suing over contract buyout. We'll explain when we return on WWL.
When the storm hits and your power goes out, that's not the moment to start making a plan. Don't get caught in the heat in the dark this summer. Instead, win backup power from WWL and Craig's Electrical and Generator Service. We're giving away a Generac GP6500 portable generator, a nearly $1,000 value. Right now, enter at WWL.com/contest. Win peace of mind from Craig's Electrical and Generator Service. When the power goes off, Craig's comes on with WWL.
Does Helm Paint Decorating have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah, they do. You know why? That's because they sell Benjamin Moore paint. And I got news for you. Paint ain't paint. I don't know how newsy it is because we've been saying it for a while, but paint ain't paint. Let Helm Paint Decorating steer you right with quality Benjamin Moore paint. Professional painters, experienced do-it-yourselfers know you're going to get better hide, better coverage, smoother finish, and Benjamin Moore is going to last longer. And speaking of do-it-yourself, if there's one home fix-up project you want to get done right the first time, it is when you look at the preparation, the application, and the cleanup, you do not want to do that twice. Helm Paint Decorating is an iconic New Orleans company, family-owned and operated, serving the entire New Orleans region for over half a century. This is pretty simple. If you got a painting project, get it done right the first time with quality Benjamin Moore paint from Helm Paint and Decorating. Because when it comes to painting and rollers and tape and brushes, big box store equals a big mistake. And paint ain't paint. Go to helmpaint.com, let Helm Paint Decorating steer you right with quality Benjamin Moore paint.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Gary Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA PPP rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSP filing number LA2519684.
Local plaintiffs' attorneys familiar with Metropolitan Health Group know they are at the forefront of accident-related injury treatment and recovery. Their newly renovated state-of-the-art clinics are just the beginning. Their electronic medical record system gives attorneys instant access to their clients' medical files in real time, assisting in trial prep and demand creation. For more information or a personal tour, call Metropolitan Health Group at 821-2574. That's 821-2574.
At Green Country Rooftops and Restoration, protecting Gulf Coast homes and businesses isn't just our job, it's our commitment. For nearly 20 years, we've been your neighbors, providing honest, dependable roofing you can trust. As a licensed fortified roof contractor, build roofs to a higher standard because your family and your business deserve the best protection possible. Don't just replace your roof, build back better. Go to greencountryrooftops.com today and schedule your free estimate.
Someone had a birthday,
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Say, look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle or joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now. Scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Less of a chance for showers today, although we're off to a cloudy start, highs in the lower 90s. So back to our usual summertime music, we may be great again. But it love Sunseri one. Now those are all the things we can talk about. Really complicated mess when it comes to young players. Ole Miss seem to reach out with the contract buyout construction.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you doing? Yeah. I mean, basically what happened is he had 2 players from Ole Miss, Devin Harper and Prince William. I'll let Buddy Diliberto say his last name. But basically they transferred to LSU, and there were some contractual obligations that were still in effect at the time of the transfer, plus some liquidated damages or buyout provisions if they left the school. And Ole Miss is weighing whether they want to pursue legal action against the players to collect that money or collect the money, liquidated damages or the buyout amounts, and get that money back since they have transferred. It could have been a multi-year contract that they walked on one of the years on one of the prematurely, or it could be the fact that they had a provision in there that said if they transferred to another school, then they would have a liquidated damages clause. So Ole Miss is trying to weigh whether they want to institute litigation or not. Now that can work both ways, because if Ole Miss institutes litigation against a former player, then all the other SEC teams, Power 4 teams that are recruiting against Ole Miss will say, look, if you go to Ole Miss and things don't go south, they're going to sue you. So they're weighing, the benefit of recovering the cost versus the PR issue and suing these particular players. So they're weighing a lot of things outside the legal, the court case from a PR perspective to determine whether it's a good move or not. Well, because a lot of, it's very competitive as far as, going to from, teams trying to sign players or get commitments from players. And with the other, maybe Oklahoma or LSU or Alabama will say, well, look, if you go to Ole Miss and things go south, they're going to sue you. And so that would be used as a competitive advantage by the other schools. So really what I think they're weighing is how would that play with trying to recruit players in the future? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We have several clients, and we're negotiating right now with several Power 4 teams and SEC teams with players, and I'm very, we're doing it. And the difference was when I was in the NFL, we had rules, we had a collective bargaining agreement, and everything was defined. Here, there's no rules. So a lot of the teams, when we first started doing the contracts, the teams didn't even have a standard contract. They asked us to draft it. because they were just sort of saying, this is new. We don't know what to do. And now they're learning. And what they're doing is they're getting a lot of former front office talent from the NFL to come into these college programs to give them some structure as far as how this is how we did it in the NFL. But basically, the colleges are starting to be structured like NFL teams. You have a general manager, you have a director of high school player personnel, you have a director of college player personnel, which recruits the other colleges. So they're starting to get some NFL people into these positions to provide some structure. But here, you don't have any rules, so everything goes. And I think everybody's sort of like learning as we go along because there's no structure. Like, for example, in the NFL, we had a collective bargaining agreement that defined what would happen if a player got hurt. We would have a grievance proceeding. We would have, if there was some type of contractual issue regarding, payments, we would have collective bargaining. If were they employees or are they not employees? That's up in the air right now. You have, injury protection. You have all these issues that were defined in a 2,000-page collective bargaining agreement in the NFL that we don't have here. And yes, and it doesn't be right. And so everything's on the board. And so when we, at least when we were doing NFL, we'd have a standard form contract. This is the first part. And the second part, we would do our incentives and the addendums. But here, we don't have to do that. So every time I get a contract from a different college, it's a different contract. And I really, we have to go through it and, say what are the conditions of termination with cause, without cause? They're all different. Where in the NFL standard contract, they were all the same. So there's not a lot of uniformity to dealing with this from a player's perspective or an attorney's perspective or agent. And that's why it's sort of the wild, wild west right now. And at some point, it's going to have to be codified or it's going to continue to have a lot of unintended consequences. Termination with cause or without cause. For example, right. Well, you could say they don't get paid. For example, what happens if they get picked up for a DWI or something? Do they lose it, or if they fail out of class, or what conditions are they required to pay the remainder of the contract, and what conditions aren't? Or are they not? And a lot, the other complication is some of the rev share or some of the compensations mixed up between NIL and rev share. So if you get in trouble, revenue share. I'm sorry. I'm speaking the acronym. Revenue share. So part of it is, if a person's no longer marketable because of some off the field behavior, do you pay? Or are they entitled to the entire compensation? So all these things aren't standardized, and they're team by team. Well, that's interesting too. They have a collective. Yes.
From the Acadian windows and hurricane shutters, coming up around Traffic Center, Joe Cardo, CAD Monetary Schoolways moving 5 as you're heading from the Plaza. I say this was good between Kidder and Battery. Smooth sailing both to and from the North Shore across the causeway. As you head in from Slidell, seeing no delays across the Twin Span. There's an accident jamming things up around Morrison Curve. You're hitting that congestion around Crowder, but you're moving fine across the high rise once you pass that. Smooth sailing is in for downtown from Eastern I-10 all the way through the Playboy flyover. Find straight expressways moving speed. As you head in from the West Bank, traffic's looking good across the Crescent City connection and the QEP. We'll be back.
July is a great month to visit the National World War II Museum. I think there's not a good residents get a half-month general admission to the National World War II Museum. I think every American owes it to the country to visit the nation's capital at least once in the National World War II Museum. At least once. Thankfully, there's not a lot of travel involved when it comes to the National World War II Museum, at least not for us. here back and forth. They got rebitted, and then they went out and did some more fighting. And opening on July 16th tomorrow, Drawn to Combat, Bill Alton, and the Art of War explores the life and legacy of one of the most important American art figures of the 20th century. Oh wait, take advantage of the 50% off general admission in July. Plan your next family outing today by going to national www.museum.org. That's national www.2museum.org.
Get the WWL shows you love delivered to your phone free. Download the Odyssey app and follow your favorites. Tommy Tucker, Newell Norman, Scoop. Listen when you want, how you want, or tell your smart speaker, play WWL.
It's everyday thing here. I think John Deere tractors almost be impossible to keep up with the place. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunnyswest.com.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley Devotion Injury Lawyers. Call 444-4444.
That's 444-4444. Not again for person 10 every morning.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it. Nor should you. For that reason, for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test run, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network. And finally, to see for yourself why I switched to Big Wireless, along with a few $100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Hi, this is Sam Lee with Go Tax Resolution. Imagine if you could see the IRS's next move before they make it. Introducing the IRS Transcript Monitoring Service from Go Tax Resolution, your personal radar for tax fraud. Using state-of-the-art software enhanced with AI, we monitor IRS activity on your account 24/7. It's like credit monitoring on steroids, but for your taxes. Let Go Tax Resolution alert you to changes
Blazing fast network.
so you can stay protected, stay ahead, and stay in control. Whether it's a pending audit, collection notice, or a new penalty, you'll know before it hits. With proactive alerts, expert analysis, and former IRS agents on your side. Know what's coming, be ready, be protected. To activate your IRS transcript monitoring, please call Go Tax Resolution at 985-722-040 or visit GoTaxResolution.com. That's GEAUX, taxresolution.com.
Bobby Abear here. If you've been thinking about an above-ground pool, now is the time. Clearwater Pools has the world's first reservoir above-ground pool. You've got to check it out. They also have a huge selection of other name brand pools to choose from. Stop by Clearwater Pools in Sparta, Covington, Metairie, Gulfport, or Pearl, Mississippi, and turn your backyard into a vacation destination. Their water lab is open 7 days a week, plus all the parts and chemicals you need. Financing is available with approved credit. Clearwater Pools in Sparta. Visit CWNolan.com.
How is it going? Stuff. Let's go crazy. Walk in and smoke, walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. In town August 6th and 8th. Sign up at AlexGoen.com. GOEN. That's AlexGoen.com.
Flow Resources, complete employer solutions. FlowResources.com.
6:58, couple of minutes left with Doug Sunseri, and attorney, host of All Things Legal, talking about Ole Miss considering seeing 2 former players in the whole NIL contract mess and the way they're structured. And Doug, we're talking about who you're doing business with or who you even you're contracting with, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're with most of the SEC teams and Power 4 teams, we've been going back and forth. You know, some of the players in high school, some are already there and dealing with, you know, re-upping them or, you know, otherwise.
So, you got a contract with tuition or no?
Yeah, well, you got 3 sources of income. First is you got the rev share from the team. You're being paid as an employee, but you're not classified as an employee, which will be as part of salary. Yeah, sort of a salary cap. The second part would be your scholarship stipends, which could be anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a month. And then the third part is NIL. Now, the NIL has two streams of revenue. One is collectives. And the collectives could guarantee a certain amount of NIL for a team. And that's like if Nike might put in $2 million in a collective and it's split up by the team. There's also the NIL that you get, the players can get on their own. A lot of times that's done with the, basically product for social media, or they'll pay you for being on their social media. So there's actually three streams of revenue, and there's two streams of revenues within the NIL, name, image, and likeness. No, they try to get it to the players. They do too. They'll get equipment. They'll pay them. Yes, they'll pay them something for that too, for being a Nike school. Okay. Thank you.